So here is the scenario. And you have a part to play in this because I will ask a question about justice as we go on. So Chris and I, scenario is this. Chris decides that the blue carpet is just fine, and I demand we get red carpet in here. It turns into a heated debate, a heated argument, at which time Chris becomes so incensed that he gives me a punch in the mouth. So a Hollywood punch, if you please, Chris. Teeth flying. So to represent that, here's my missing teeth on that side. So, Chris punched out a tooth. I say, I demand justice. And so, Hollywood punch, teeth go flying. Now Chris is missing a tooth.
The problem with that is that
Yeah.
I am now missing 2 teeth.
Okay, you're
That
missing.
is not justice.
Yeah, well, okay. So he is so incensed at the lack of justice that he too must have justice, which comes to yet another blow. Uppercut. After I come to, question, so far, has this been done in the name of justice? Oh,
Tooth for
really?
a tooth, people, it's in the book.
According to Scripture, is this just? Well, let's continue on then for those of you who have doubts. So we continue on, and hint, hint, there was a problem, so I had a tooth for a tooth, and now he has had several teeth for several teeth. But I'm with Pam and don't think this is entirely just. So, Hollywood punch, I take out one of Chris's eyes. Hollywood punch. Okay. So far we're down for a tooth for a tooth and an eye for eye. Now, I've done this to poor Chris. He thinks, no, this is escalating. This is still not complete justice. So guess what Chris does? Oh, Bruce Lee. Using Kung Fu. Not fair.
Not well. There. That's better.
Not only has Chris taken out an eye and escalated this thing, but he used Kung Fu. That's just not right. So, I, in return, ha!
Oh, that's yours.
Yeah, I think that's my other eye in there. Oh, well, now, Chris decides this is not fair.
This is not going to work.
Yeah, well, see, did you lost a tooth that should be not there. Here, let me help you out there. Just a moment. There you go. All right, now Chris is now completely blind, but he is still able, in his rage and escalation, to flail his fist, at which case I will stand. Okay. Thank you, Chris, for that. So now, here we are.
Justice. Now we're both blind and toothless.
Exactly. I want everybody to get a good look at this. How many thinks this is just? I don't care. I can't see you. But here we are, all in the name of justice, and we look like this. We're blind and toothless. Now, luckily, Jesus comes around. Be healed, Chris. There we go. Point that we're getting at here, and it's this may derive other justice there, doesn't it, Chris?
Okay.
Welcome to.
Free?
Yeah, you are free, my friend. You have been freed by the Lord in all of this mess. Exodus 21 says, verse 23, but if there is harm, then you shall pay life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burn for burn, wound for wound, stripe for stripe. Now, according to Scripture, not a tittle or a jot of the law shall pass away. So the principle of this law is still in place. It's God's law. Now, here's where we run into the problem. You see, when God's law, His justice is perfect, but when His justice comes in and meshes with a sinful nature of man, you end up with actually a pretty bad mix. You end up with a bunch of blind and toothless people. You end up in a blind and toothless world if it's all justice, even God's justice. So, what are we saying? Is justice bad? No. Romans 7:7. What then shall we say? That the law is sin? By no means. Yet it has not been for the law, I would not have known sin. Yet, if it had not been for the law, I would not have known sin. We must have justice. We must have a law. We must have a standard that we can live by. And the thing about law, having a law, it brings out, it highlights the reality of sin. We wouldn't know sin unless the law and justice reminded us. But in our sinful nature, to be reminded of our sin only kills us. So, strange question. What's going to save us from justice? Because justice will kill us. Justice will kill us.